Hi guys, and welcome to Aussies Do Down Under Farm School season. Today I'm going to tell you how to finalise your school year when you have more work than time left to do it in. So stick around. Like I said, today is all about how to cram in all that extra work that you're left with in the time that you have before the school year finishes. Now, if you're anything like me and you plan it all out, you schedule it all out, you have this beautiful schedule, but lo and behold, interruptions happen, whether it is projects that come out of nowhere or family sicknesses, or you decide to go on a holiday in mid-year that you weren't counting on. These interruptions happen, and sometimes they blow out this beautiful schedule that we made a little bit, so that we're left with, say, 5 weeks left of school, maybe less when you see this, and 8 weeks left of work. So today is all about trying to get all that work done, or what to do when you are left with more work than time in your school year. But before I get on to that, I just wanted to thank all my new subscribers this week and ask that if you haven't already subscribed and you're liking the material I'm putting out there, please consider subscribing. It's a great boost and I really love having you all on board. But back to our cramming. So we all have busy lives. We're all always going to have interruptions of some sort throughout the year. It could be sickness, it could be just holidays, it could be just work getting too much and getting in the way too often. And that's been the case for me. So I'm finding myself at this point of the year with a few weeks to go and a lot more work than time. So I was racking my brains trying to work out how I was going to do it. One thought I had was just give up, but that's not a solution. So I thought, well, instead of just working it out, why don't I share it, and maybe we can all help each other on this last ditch effort to get all that work done. So my first idea is actually quite simple. It's preventing this from happening. And although it's very hard to prevent it, you can put into place when you're scheduling a way of trying hard not to have this happen. So when you're scheduling, just like you would do if you've ever built a house and you're having a builder give you a contract, they put in their time frame of building your home. They also add in sort of like time for weather, time for public holidays and or big holidays. So at the moment, I'm just about to start building an investment property, and I have in my building contract weather time, Christmas time, all sorts of time. So they're putting that in, they're using that as part of their time frame. So they're already preempting that there's going to be interruptions. And if we use that same principle in our scheduling, then we can also preempt interruptions. We may not preempt all of them, may not preempt the amount of time they're going to take up, but we can definitely include them so we're less likely to suffer this sort of blowout at the end of the year. So I did do a video on scheduling and actually scheduling your different textbooks within a time period so you know exactly what you're doing on any given week or day. And I will put a link to that somewhere up here for you to have a look if you are interested in that. But when you're doing that time scheduling, what you need to do is actually add some time into that for interruptions. So if you know that you're going on a holiday, add that to the time that you're going to divide into. If you know, or take it away, sorry. If you know that you're going, you could sort of presume that someone may get sick, so maybe take a 6 days for sickness out of the time that you're calculating. If you know that you've got relatives coming to visit you at any time, then maybe take a week for that as well out. And then you're left with a shorter amount of time, but you're going to be far more accurate when you're calculating what you need to get through at any given week, so that you're not having a massive blowout at the end of the year and you find you've got weeks and weeks left of work and not enough time to fix it. So my next idea is what I like to call skimming the fat. Basically what it involves is having a look at everything you've got to do, and you may have, say, I'm doing one particular topic in math, say, And in that math, it calls for your child to do 20 practice questions on that one topic. Now, if your child has got the point of that math topic or problem within 5, stop it. Go to the next topic and move on. The same would occur if you were doing an English subject or geography or history in with your children, and maybe they have to do 20 or 10 question and answers at the end of each chapter. Well, maybe instead of doing that, you could do a conversation with them, talk about the topic that you've just gone over, and maybe instead of doing those 20 questions or those 10 questions revolving around that chapter, maybe do a short half-page essay, depending again on the age of your child. You can do a quick half-page or whole-page little essay on what that topic, chapter, subject was about, so that you're not spending a lot of time on this sort of rigid question and answer thing, or on too many of them like in math, and you can just get through the topic subject a lot quicker. Another idea under that skim the fat kind of umbrella would be if your child has been reading a subject or a book, like for me, Hunter's reading the Australian Geography book. Maybe what you could do is, if you are a faster reader, maybe your child is faster than you, but if you are a faster reader, maybe you can take that and actually read to them so that they're still getting the information. They may get practice in reading of a night anyway, like mine do. There's plenty of opportunities for them to read, but maybe it's quicker for you to actually read the content to them, and that way you're getting through it quicker. So the next idea I have is actually a bit extreme, but maybe necessary, is to cut it out. Cut it out basically means if the subject is not as important as other subjects. Now, I know all subjects are important, so don't get me wrong. I'm just saying if it isn't as important, or the ones that you are behind in, which usually are going to be your math and English sort of subjects, if you're really behind in those, maybe you can cut some of the other ones out. So say with art, and for me, art is like one of the most important. So this is hard, but you've got to understand when you're in the summer holidays, you can do artistic sort of things just for fun. You can do little holiday programs just for fun, and these will suffice, so you don't necessarily need to stress yourself out and try and finish art as well as math, as well as English, as well as history. So if there's any subjects that are maybe not as important as others or not as necessary to finish before next year, then maybe use this opportunity to cut them away and just concentrate on the subjects that you need to finish. So my next idea is what I call cram for exam. So I recently had Hunter do an EDU test, which is like a 3-hour exam. And what I found was that part of that preparation involved a lot of extra work, a few practice tests, and a few more hours of really sort of knuckling down and just pushing through a lot of content. And what I realized when I was doing that is that my 10-year-old is quite capable of probably more than I do each day, which is fine. You know, throughout the year, there's no use pushing them the whole year, or they're just going to burn out. But if you're in a situation like having too much work and not enough time, you could actually use the exam preparation technique to get through the extra work. And you can almost make it fun for your children as well. So if you organize an exam period, depending on the age of your child, of course, but you can say to your kids, hey, we're going to do like the big kids, and we're going to do an end of year exam period. So not as full on, obviously, as the big kids, but what it's going to involve is 2 weeks of really pushing through the work that we have. You know, maybe take out a couple of subjects, or give it 2 hours a day of just pushing through the subjects that you're behind in. And you'd be surprised what your kids can achieve in this time. One thing I realized in this exam time from just having Hunter do it was that I needed to reassure him every few days that it was just this time, and that it wasn't going to go on forever. So every now and then I say, Hunter, you just have to push through this hour, or you just have to push through, this week. And then after the exam's finished, you can have a nice big rest. I'm going to give you a day off. You can pick something fun or an activity that's fun that we can do, and it's all about you the day after that exam. But I just want you to really push through, show me what you're made of, and get this done. What this does is it gives them a sense that, okay, it's not going to go on forever. This is going to be something I'm going to push myself, see how much I can get done, and at the end of the day, or at the end of the 2 weeks, I'm going to be rewarded for all that extra hard work that I've put in. Another upside of doing this is that, your kids might be really young and maybe they're far off having exam periods, and maybe you'll never do exams in your home school. But life, when they go out on their own, is full of situations where you're going to need to really cram and get something done in a certain time limit. Life is all about time limits, hence why we're talking about this very video. So it's a good idea to teach them these strategies, teach them how to sort of really push through something for a couple of weeks, because they're going to use that in many, many, many scenarios throughout their life. And learning that resilience, learning that pressure pot kind of situation, learning how to get those achievements and actually be rewarded for it, I think is a lesson that they can all learn, and that they're going to carry through for the rest of their life. One thing I really noticed about Hunter and doing this exam that he had to do and the preparation that he did, wow, I was so impressed by his determination and his commitment to doing the practice and doing that extra work that he needed to do to be prepared for the exam. And it really gave me a sense of pride and him a sense of achievement that he got through it and he did it and he's capable. And I'm amazed at how determined kids can be, especially when they've got something to look forward to at the end. So there you have it. They're my ideas of getting all that extra work done that you have left when you only have a few weeks to do it and Christmas is looming. Now, I know that some of you in different countries, your school year is only halfway through, but I think it's still relevant for you because you will get to the end of the year, and I guarantee some of you will be in the same predicament as I am now. So I'm hoping this is going to be a great video for everyone who homeschools and finds themselves with a lot of work at the end of the year. So just as a couple of side notes, you can use one or all of these ideas or a combination of them. You can also have the option to just kind of trust that your kids have learnt enough over the year because you are such an awesome homeschool mum or dad, and you can just let it go, just keep teaching. If you don't finish the textbook, if you're a few topics away, then so be it. Maybe you can catch up, make school go longer, but look, it's been a big year and sometimes I think it's good to have a break as well. The other thing you can do is finish those topics next year. The only trouble with this is it might actually keep pushing you out each year and making life a little bit more overwhelming when you're trying to fit in the new subjects. But like a lot of people do summer school, maybe you could finish the topics off in your version of summer school. Now, I know that some of you out there are going to have some awesome ideas in relation to cramming in the rest of your workload. I would love to hear them, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would love to hear them. So please pop them down in the comment section below, because you never know who you're going to help with an idea, and that's why I'm doing this. So if you've liked this video, please hit that like button down below. And again, if you haven't subscribed yet and you think it might be something you'd like to do, I would love to have you on board. So please hit that subscribe button. I will see you next week with another new video. But until then, thanks for watching and see you later. See ya.